I grew up in Brooklyn in Bensonhurst. I come from what I didn't realize at the time, but realize now, humble beginnings. Like, we were on food stamps and my mom was a single mom and it was really hard and we struggled, and I didn't notice because everybody around us was just like us. So you don't realize that you're not going on vacation when nobody you know is going on vacation. My father was from Cuba, so we speak a few languages. And when you grow up with ethnic parents, you're not like the rest of the American kids. Like, you're just not. You don't eat the same food. Your parents don't get the Americanisms. You don't do slumber parties or summer camp. Like, you are just from a different cloth. But I like having ethnic families. I had like 50 first cousins and we did everything together. Literally everything. So I grew up in Brooklyn and my children are growing up in Manhattan, and it's only a few minutes away, but it's worlds apart. My kids don't go outside and play. They go on play dates. My kids don't have 400 cousins at every event to be supportive. They have seven. And having like my big fat ethnic family is pretty fucking amazing. As a child, it's annoying, but as an adult, I think about it and I feel sad that my kids don't have that. But it's pretty spectacular to have like 200 of your first cousins, literally. These people were humping like crazy. There was clearly no fucking TV. Huh. Hi, my name is Izzy, and I am an average rich housewife. An average rich housewife is a housewife, obviously, but we're average rich. We're not quite as wealthy as J-Lo and Jay-Z, but not quite living in the boroughs. I'm gonna let you into my world. The friends, the chaos.
Can I have a really dirty Grey Goose martini?
The restaurants, the fashion, all of it. You're going to see the inside world of an actual Manhattan housewife. I grew up in Bensonhurst and we went to public school, we played in the fire hydrant, we went to Coney Island.
So you don't really realize that you're broke when everybody's just like you until you actually leave and explore the rest of the world, and you're like, wow, people owned homes and like went on family vacations and did these things that didn't just happen in the movies.
My life is a little bit different than the lifestyle my kids lead now. When I say humble, I mean it was humble. I had no idea it was humble, but it was. And we did just fine. It was just fine. I look back now and I'm like, oh my God, horrified. But like 5 people in a 3-bedroom with 1 bathroom. I'm just saying, 1 fucking bathroom. My mom used to do laundry and hang it because we didn't have a dryer. Like, stupid things that you think of now are like, how did she do it? But you do it, and that's just where you are, and here I am. Gucci from Wish. My mom, in July of 2018, was diagnosed with cancer, and it was fast and furious. She lived a little bit more than a year. Treatment was horrific for her. We lost her literally the day they told her she had cancer. It was probably the worst thing I've ever had to deal with in my life. I'm 2 years later still grieving. I don't know how to continue without her, but we have no choice because I do have kids and I know that she would want me to for my kids. And I always see it as not goodbye, but I'll see you soon. She was my person, my go-to. I'm a little bit not like the rest of the girls, but she was my biggest fan. Like, if she were here right now, she'd be sitting there being like, yes, you can do this. So losing her was monumental. Hence, I picked up and moved to Miami and just couldn't be in New York. Returning to New York without her here has been really complicated. I teeter with staying in New York. She was a big part of New York for me, and you don't realize how much someone impacted you or someone's being in your life impacts your day-to-day life until they're actually gone. My mom traveled with me everywhere. Everywhere I moved, everywhere I lived, she came. She either stayed for a while or came and went, but there was not a place that I lived, went, or visited that she did not come. She was literally my biggest fan. If I had an adventure to be on and she could be there with me, she was there. If I mean, my mother doesn't even go on boats, and she came to visit me living on an island and would come frequently just to see me. She was amazing. She was a spectacularly beautiful woman. She had like so much life in her. When she passed at her funeral, my mom was, you know, a regular person. She wasn't famous. She worked a regular job. And when she passed, there were so many people that came to the funeral that they had lines of cars outside. It was almost like, how did this one person who was not famous in any way and didn't even have social media impact so many lives?
We have one life to live, and you have to do it your way. Don't do it for your partner. Don't do it for your child. Don't do it for your friends. Like, and do the right thing. Obviously, don't be a shit, but live life your way. Like, on your own terms, whatever it is that's going to make you happy. Don't live the conditioned version of yourself because that's what society makes you believe, or what you've been grown up to think that your life has to be, and it has to fit into a box, and you know, you can't get divorced because people might think this of you. Like, no, only worry about you and what you think of yourself. That should be the main focus. I feel like that's what I took most from my mom. She was a good human. Like, her core was good and she did good things, but she definitely walked her own path way ahead of her time. Women of her generation, like, stayed in unhappy marriages and didn't speak their mind and just kind of were submissive. And my mom was none of those things, which made her spectacular.
As we got older, my brothers started to be successful, and I started to become more self-sufficient and successful, and my sister, and so, you know, and my mother, became more successful in her own career and her own finances. And the shift was nice. I mean, it's sad that she didn't get to enjoy the fruits of all of our labor because she's not here with us, and she would have really liked to, but it was a nice transition to be able to see her living in a nicer home and traveling and having a nicer car, because she literally worked her ass off for it, and it was all well-deserved. It was not handed to her in any way. And I think that's what made her so spectacular. She had grit like nobody else. A very open mind and very outspoken. And I understand why. When you go through so much shit, there's no reason to hold back. You really just don't give a fuck, and I can appreciate that. I also feel like a lot of women are having this women movement right now, and I feel like I grew up in a Moroccan, for the most part, female-centric household. I had a lot of aunts. I don't feel this need to, like, I am woman, I'm not equal to man. In my upbringing, women were just as equal. My aunts cooked, cleaned, worked, raised kids, made decisions. There was nothing that the women didn't do, you know, behind men in any way. So I never feel that, like, inferiority. Like, if there were boxes to be carried, we all carried them. There was not like, let the boys do it. My mom was a single woman, independent. There was no like getting somebody to do something. It was like, do it, get it done. So that, you know, really played into who I am, and probably why I'm outspoken and I don't give a fuck. Next week on The Average Rich Housewife. For my birthday this year, we went to Holbox, spelled Holbox, pronounced Holbox. You fly into Cancun, it's like a 3-hour drive from there, and you go to this small island with no cars, minimal Wi-Fi. It's really checking out, and I love it. It's literally my favorite place in the world. So I decided to spend my birthday there with my favorite people, my roommates, the weird white couple, another girlfriend of mine, and we had the greatest time.
The drama happened at the bar when we were dancing, and all of a sudden I felt that there was a third party in our little dance circle. But there were only 2 of us and 5 legs, if you know what I mean.
Hey everyone, it's your favorite housewife, Izzy. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next week. But it's just not realistic to me to hear these women talk about how they need one nanny per child. Like, I grew up in a community of religious Jews where they have 10 kids and one person raising them. Like, what are you ladies talking about?